What's the funniest way you've gotten revenge on a teacher? My history teacher, Ms. Peterson, had this rule where she'd randomly call on students to answer questions, but if you asked to use the bathroom during class, you were safe from being called on that day. The thing is, she only allowed 3 bathroom passes per semester. By October, I'd used all mine because I have a tiny bladder. That's when she started targeting me with the hardest questions, smirking every time. One day, she called on me 3 times in a single class. I knew I needed revenge, but it had to be perfect. Ms. Peterson was obsessed with her coffee mug. This fancy ceramic thing she'd brag came from Paris. She'd tell anyone who would listen about how she simply couldn't drink from anything else because once you experience French craftsmanship, there's no going back. Eye roll. Every day followed the same routine. She'd fill it up in the teacher's lounge before first period, drink it during morning classes, then refill at lunch, always returning to take that first satisfying sip before afternoon classes began. I'd noticed how she'd close her eyes during that first afternoon sip like it was some kind of religious experience. That's when the idea hit me. My friend Jake worked in the office as an aide during 5th period, which meant he had a key to practically every room. I convinced him to let me and my other friend Mia into Ms. Peterson's classroom during lunch. "You have exactly 7 minutes," Jake warned. "I can't stall her any longer than that." Once inside, we moved quickly. Mia stood watch at the door while I pulled out my secret weapon, a roll of ultra-clear plastic wrap, the expensive kind my mom uses for fancy leftovers. I carefully stretched a piece across the top of her mug, pressing it gently against the rim. The coffee was dark enough that you couldn't see the plastic at all. I even used scissors to trim the edges perfectly so there was no overhang. "She's coming," Mia whispered frantically. We ducked into the supply closet at the back of the room, leaving it cracked open just enough to see her desk. Ms. Peterson walked in, setting her gradebook down with a thud. She had this smug look on her face that teachers get when they're about to spring a pop quiz. I held my breath as she reached for the mug. She picked it up, turned to write something on the board with her other hand, then tilted the mug back for that signature sip. Nothing happened. The confusion on her face was priceless. Her eyebrows scrunched together as she pulled the mug away, examining it like it had betrayed her. She tilted it more, then practically upside down, tapping the bottom impatiently. That's when it happened. The seal broke from the pressure and coffee exploded all over her crisp white blouse, splashing up onto her face and dripping down onto her designer shoes. She shrieked so loud the teacher next door came running. By then, the first students were filing in, all wide-eyed at the scene. Ms. Peterson standing there, coffee-soaked and fuming. "Who did this?" she demanded, her mascara running down her cheeks in little black rivers. Mia and I had slipped out of the closet during the chaos, blending in with the entering students. I settled into my seat, the picture of innocence. Ms. Peterson's eyes scanned the room, finally landing on me. I could tell she suspected something, but she had no proof. I just smiled sweetly and said, "Need a bathroom pass, Ms. Peterson?" Her face turned an impressive shade of red as she stormed out to change. When she returned wearing a borrowed gym shirt, she was surprisingly subdued. She didn't call on a single student that day. The best part? The next week, a new policy appeared on her classroom door. Unlimited bathroom passes available. Just ask quietly. 2 months later, at the semester award ceremony, I was shocked when Ms. Peterson actually nominated me for Most Improved Student. When I asked her why, she just winked and said, "Let's just say I learned my lesson about putting people in uncomfortable positions." I never admitted it was me, and she never directly accused me. But sometimes during class, I'd catch her eyeing her coffee mug suspiciously before taking a sip. And every time, I'd raise my water bottle in a subtle toast that only she understood. That's how I learned the best revenge isn't just funny. It's the kind that actually changes things for the better.